Hey, how's it going? And today I just wanted to do a quick video about soft references in Unreal Engine. And the reason I'm doing this is that I've been seeing a flurry of tutorials coming out of Unreal Engine and elsewhere on the internet about the importance of using soft references. And this is especially true if you're going to have a large project with a lot of assets, because what happens is that if you don't use soft references, you can end up consuming too much memory, and some assets, depending what they are, can gobble up a lot of memory. So if you're going to have a big project, then it's probably advisable to use soft references when you can. And what's the difference? Well, that you have what they call a hard reference and a soft reference. A hard reference means that the object is loaded immediately into memory as soon as it's referenced, and a soft reference means it's referenced, but it's not loaded into memory until it's needed or called. So that's the difference. And when it's needed or called, that's known as asynchronous. So you'll have just a regular object reference, and if it's what they call a hard reference or just as an object reference, it's going to be loaded immediately into memory. And if it's a soft reference, then it will not be loaded immediately, and it'll only be loaded when it's needed or asynchronously. So I want to just give you an example of this, how to use a soft reference. So this should be relatively quick. There's two blueprints that we're going to need for this. The first one, I'm just going to create a blueprint here. I'm going to go to actor, and I'm just going to call this BP underscore sphere. And all this is going to be is a sphere. So I'm going to double click into this. I'm going to go ahead and dock this. I'm just going to grab a static mesh right here, and then we're just going to give it the arcade editor sphere right here. We'll compile and save. And I don't even have to drag this into the scene. That's what it looks like right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and create another blueprint, and I'm going to call this, it's going to be an actor, and I'm going to call this BP underscore spawner. Now I am going to double click into this too, and we're going to search for a collision, box collision. And this is what's going to drive it. So every time our player goes across this, we're going to have a soft reference, and it's then going to asynchronously load that into memory, and then it can be spawned in. And there's a couple things that I want to show you about this. So with that created, I'm just going to go into the event graph, and then over here, we need to create two variables. So the first one is going to be a soft reference. So I'm just going to call this soft reference, because that's what this tutorial is about. And we're going to search for that BP underscore sphere. And it's right here. And you notice when I select it, you'll see we've got object reference, class reference, soft object reference, and soft class reference. So an object reference and a class reference are loaded immediately into memory. They can begin to weigh down your memory and impact performance. A soft object reference or a soft class reference will only be loaded as needed or when called upon. These do not consume memory until they need to. This is a much more efficient way, and you'll see this message all over the internet now. So what I'm going to do is select a soft class reference, and you'll notice it's pink. And if I compile and save, you'll see I can come over here now and select my BP sphere. And now I need one more variable while I'm here, and this is going to be called location. And this is going to be a vector. So we'll just go vector, that. And we'll compile and save. And then I'm going to need a location to spawn into, so I'm going to just select this item in the scene. I'm going to come over here to its location, and I'm going to go to copy that. And then I'm going to come over here into my BP spawner, and over here I'm just going to paste that location in. Now since there's something already in that location, I'll go ahead and delete that right there. And then all we have to do, and this is the point of this tutorial, is to show you how to do this, how to manage a soft reference. We have the box collision selected. I'm going to go to on component begin overlap right here, and then we're going to drag in our soft reference to our sphere, and we're going to search for something called async. It should pop up right away. Async load class asset right here. Now I want to show you something that's really interesting. If I were to try to just spawn this in right now, and I don't see why I wouldn't be able to do that, spawn actor from class, look what happens when I try to drag this in. I'm going to get an error, and it says object class reference is not compatible with an actor class reference. So something that's important to know is that these are object references, not actor references. So what we have to do is convert this reference, this soft reference, into an actor. So we can search for something called cast to actor class right here. And essentially what this is going to do is convert our object class into an actor class. So we're just going to pop this in here. And we also, on the async, we want to go off of the completed pin, not this one up here, because we want it to load completely into memory before we do anything. Now we do need to get our location. So here I'm going to right click and split this struct pin right here. Then I'm going to get this location, and then I'm going to drag off of here and get the set location. And off of this pin here, I want to go add this one here, and we're going to drag this into here and this into here, and then just hook up these exact pins right there. Now what we want to do is every time we hit the trigger, we want to offset the z-axis a little bit. Otherwise, these spheres are all going to be piling up on top of each other, and we don't want that. Now, I'm getting an error because I didn't plug this in, so I just have to plug in my class, and we're all good to go. Okay, and now let's see if this works. I'm just going to drag my spawner over here, and let me make this a little bit wider. And then what should happen is every time I go across this trigger, the sphere is going to spawn in. But this is only coming into memory as we need it. So I cross over here, there's my sphere. Cross over, there's another sphere, 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 sphere. And I look up, and there we go. This was just a little tutorial about what a soft reference is and how to access and create one. And like I said, if you're just making a small game with not a lot of stuff, you probably don't need to worry about it. But if you're getting into a larger game, then you do need to start thinking about soft references so that you're not overwhelming your memory. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.